All right. With that said, Greg, quickly, do you think Belichick and Mac are losing the players on this team?
Well, by sticking with Mac Jones, Bill is risking that if it doesn't get any better. I mean, but I don't think he has a choice. I mean, this is, like we said, this is where they are. You can't, Zappy's nothing. Will Greer's probably not ready yet. I don't even know how good he is. So, they don't really have a choice. But, if things go poorly, let's just put it this way. Mac cannot be pulled early from another game unless the Patriots are the one doing the blowing out. It can't happen. I mean, I know there are people around the team who basically feel like, if your quarterback gets pulled with a quarter to play in 2 straight games, like he's done. And there are people wondering, is the offense broken, or did Mac break the offense? I do think that some of those people, while I respect them, are a little bit biased because they're in charge of a lot of the situation. And by indicting the entire offense, you're indicting, the coaching staff and the front office and things like that. But I think Mac Jones, I think Bill needs to get with the leaders, or at least the locker room, or in front of the team meeting. And he needs to send a strong signal that, look, I think he needs to take a lot of blame. He needs to get up there and say, look, myself and the rest of the coaches have brought this on. We put you in this position. It's not your fault. It's not any player's fault. Okay? It's gotten this bad because of the decisions that we've made, how we prep the team. That being said, we are forgetting about all that stuff. We are burying the football, whatever. It's over and done with. We are going to do better starting today. Here's the plan for how we're going to get better. We are not going to walk before we can crawl. We are going to go out there. We're going to give our offensive linemen a good chance to get their feet under them. We are going to run the ball incessantly. The plays that we run in the pass game are going to be those that we have repped a ton of times in practice. There is no gray area. Everyone knows where they should be. We know the timing. We have worked it out. This is what's expected. If you run these plays, we're not going to put up a ton of points, but we're going to move the ball. And we have a chance to be successful. And if we do that, then we'll keep expanding things. But we need to go back and do things. And I think that Mac also probably needs to get in front of his offense. And he probably needs to get with the defense too and apologize to them and talk about the mistakes that he's made, take a ton of ownership, not just to the media, but to his teammates, and pledge that, it's over, that he is going to do right by them. He's going to keep them in the game. He is going to show more courage in the pocket, which is something I think he's lacked at times. I understand why he's at that place, but sorry, that's part of the job. And so I think a lot of conversations needed to happen yesterday, today, going forward. And really, it's got to be about, we're not even talking about the past. We're putting it out of our minds. We are 0-0. Let's go win the next game and just take it from there.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose.
Let me ask you, do you think that Bill has it in him to do that? And do you think Mac has it in him to do that? And do you think those conversations have happened in the last 36 to 48 hours?
I do think they've happened. I don't know how much, we've heard guys like Julian Edelman was on Colin Cowherd, and he talked about, Bill takes a lot of he has a lot of accountability and stuff like that. And I don't know, from what I've heard, that's kind of the old Bill, that he doesn't do that as much anymore. But maybe that's part of the reason why they're in this spot, that, Bill hasn't put enough on himself, has let the players sort of point fingers at each other, and that there's a little division in the ranks. And it doesn't get to become 72-3 just because you're not a talented team. It becomes 72-3 because people don't trust each other. They're looking at the coaches. Does this guy know what he's doing? The old man has lost it? Those sort of things go on. A lot of doubt and questions creep into players' minds. But look, I think all the coaches, it needs to start with Belichick, and then it needs to filter down to the coordinators and then the position coaches. But I think they all need to stand in front of the players, and they need to take it upon themselves, and they need to say, I've let you down. And look, I think part of this whole restart and self-evaluation that they're doing needed to include Belichick and Bill O'Brien taking a hard look at the coaching staff. You can't tell me that Adrian Clem is doing a good job. I mean, you just can't. I can't tell you who's doing a bad job because there's so many guys that are playing that I don't have a frame of reference to. Whether it's the rookies like Mafi or guys coming back from injury, we don't know where they are health-wise. Strange, Owenu, guys like Calvin Anderson and Vidarian Lowe and Riley Reif. I don't have enough film on them as Patriots to be like, this guy's definitely gone backwards. But the pad level's bad. There are mental mistakes in every game. The offensive line does not look well prepared to me. And I'm sorry, Troy Brown is one of the greatest Patriots. And, he's got a red jacket, or at least will have one. Great Patriot. But I'm sorry, this is 2 years in a row that I watched the film, and I don't know what the hell these receivers are doing. And the attention to detail on the offensive line and with the receivers is just not where it needs to be. And I think those guys, whatever needs to happen, if those guys can't do it, then Bill needs to find somebody who can do it. I don't know if you need to fire him, but, bring in Dante Scarnecchia just to watch for a week and give his thoughts. Get somebody in here. Maybe Bill O'Brien needs to get more involved with the wide receivers. Whatever needs to happen, it needs to get better. And I do think it starts with the coaching. I don't think the coaching's been good, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Not to defend the guy in the job that he did last year, but honestly, the more you watch, and I'm not saying Bill O'Brien is Matt Patricia, but it's rather obvious that Patricia became the scapegoat. And did he do a good job? No. But there are a lot of things that we saw last year still happening this year. And guess who's not in New England? Matt Patricia. So there's been some leakage there. There's no doubt about it. The receivers are not good. Troy Brown has to step up. And some of that's a talent issue. But as you're saying, what Greg's talking about are things that he sees on film that should be easily correctable. It's not a talent question. It's, hey, run the right route. And these guys have been in the league for a long time. Figure it out, coach them up.
Not only run the right route, but run it the right way. I mean, you heard Julian Edelman talked in that same interview about Jacoby Myers and how, he was bothered that he wasn't brought back. And Colin Cowherd said something about he gets good separation. And Julian says he gets great separation. And what do we know? Jacoby Myers is not the fastest guy in the world. He's not running by anybody. He's not explosive or anything like that. But he ran the routes the right way. You run it with precision. You make precise cuts. You threaten, give a fake with your head, and all of a sudden that gets the guy moving. And then you turn outside. Boom, there's 4 yards of separation where a quarterback can get the ball in there, turn around, get yards after the catch. None of that stuff goes on anymore. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster had a ton of routes in this game where I'm just like, that's horrible. DeMario Douglas got a chance to run the old slot, Z return, fake, go inside, go outside. It was crap. Somebody's got to be coaching and being like, this is the way to do it. And you would think Troy Brown, who did it for, as good as anybody for years, would do it. But, maybe he's just not a good coach. It's not good enough. The attention to detail is horrible on this offense. What if there was an app that used AI and machine learning to suggest smart sports bets? There is, and it's called Odds Are. It is a mobile app you need to know what bets of the day are smart ones. Download the app, sign up for an account, and let the latest data analysis guide you through today's point spreads, money lines, and over-unders. I just did it. It's easy. If you see green, that's a smart bet. If you see yellow, you're on your own. If you see red, don't do it. Odds Are doesn't take your bet. It makes you better at it. With Odds Are on your mobile phone, you're a tap away from making a smart play. It's smart betting made simple. Find Odds Are app in the App Store or on Google Play. Get a 2 free week trial. It's just $10 a month after that. But hey, listen to that. That's for the usual people, the normal people. Listeners to this podcast, the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast, you actually get a special deal. Get your first 30 days of the app free. Just go to oddsr.com/Bedard to download the app. That's oddsr.com/Bedard. 30 days of smarter betting free. We'd call that a winning bet. The casinos and sportsbook want you to bet. Odds Are wants you to win. Go get it.
Yeah, Greg, before we move forward, you brought up Jakobi Meyers, and I posted this today. I don't know if you get to see it. I know you were busy today, but when you look at the statistics, this is going to turn your stomach. So Jakobi Meyers this year, 25 catches. If you take Juju and Devontae Parker combined, they have 26 catches. Jakobi Meyers this year has 274 yards. Juju and Parker combined have 215 touchdowns. Jakobi has 3. Your number 1 and number 2 receivers on this team have 0 combined touchdowns. Jakobi Meyers, and he missed a game. And yes, Parker missed a game, but Meyers missed a game due to a concussion. Jakobi Meyers missing 1 game this year has actually produced pretty much the same, if not better in some statistics, than your 1 and 2 combined. That is ridiculous. And, you know, Greg and I talked a lot about this offense before the year began. And look, some of the things you just can't predict. Some of the things we saw, right? We questioned the third down back. We questioned if they could get separation at the receiver position because we saw it last year and their lack of ability to do so. There were some of those questions, but we thought that they would have at least a base to work with. We thought they might have a run game. They've had no run game. No one could see Ramondre Stevenson falling off a cliff to start this year the first 3 weeks. Last couple of weeks have been a little bit better, but he's not the same guy he was last year. Of course, nobody could see the offensive line with the injuries and the fluidity. No one could have guessed that Mike Onwenu was going to be, just not Mike Onwenu due to the injury. Cole Strange, even if he didn't take a step forward, we figured, okay, well, at least you can put him there and he can play and not be a complete disaster. He gets injured. So when you start to put it all together, it's a mess. It's a mess. And I really do have this question because I've been thinking about this the last day or two. And we always talk about how, Greg, the structure of the Patriots, it's just so Bill Belichick centric. And I do wonder, does Bill have it in him to say goodbye to people around him? Does he have that killer instinct now that he's in his 70s and he's had these guys around him for as long as he has, whether Bill O'Brien came back because of Kraft or whatever? But you look around, is Belichick willing to step up and say, Troy, you suck? If that's the case, you're not doing your job. You suck. See you later. Does he have it in him? I don't know. He's got his 2 kids on the staff. Pretty tough to say goodbye to your kids and fire them. Gerard Mayo. You just look around. Joe Judge. You can go on. And what you have is you have this Patriots bubble. And I don't know, Greg, and I ask you, is Belichick at this point of his career, is he willing or able to actually burst that bubble himself and say, we're too insulated? This is too much Patriotsville. We have to start doing some things differently.
I don't think that he does, Nick. I can't speak to his motivations from that, but I do think, the overriding thing is I think he thinks, and I think it's, now with the evidence that we have in recent years, I think he was deluded into this by, Tom Brady and the success that he brought to this franchise as the quarterback, as, the greatest of all time, that Bill believes that his system, tried and true, probably goes back to, in some part, to the Naval Academy and his dad, that his system will ultimately work out in the end. So He's not going to do anything that deviates from it. He wants people that know his system, that teach his system. And I just don't think he's capable of that. I mean, Edelman talks about him being very accountable. I don't really believe that anymore. And I think that that's a big problem with this team. I mean, I do think that, Bill needs to, crack some heads in terms of his coaching staff to get things better. Because, look, if the players aren't executing it, and especially on offense, they're not executing it, then, you're either coaching it or allowing it to happen. And, they have to figure out which one it is, and they have to act accordingly. With the busy fall season already in swing, you might be looking for wholesome, convenient meals for jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help fuel you up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. First of all, I got an email saying, be on the lookout for it. When it was delivered, it was ready to go. You could tell that it was fresh. These guys know what they're doing. Too busy to cook this fall, but want to make sure you're eating well. With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and the chopping, the prepping, the cleaning too, while still getting flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's never frozen fresh meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy and get back to crushing your goals. I loved, this was my favorite one, loaded bacon shredded chicken with sauteed spinach, green beans, and ranch sour cream. This only has 650 calories. I got the keto option to keep with my diet. There are so many options over there. Basically anything you want to do in terms of dietary restrictions, they can do it. You got to check it out. Head to factormeals.com/Bedard50. That's code Bedard50, BEDARD 50 at factormeals.com/Bedard50 to get 50% off.
The CLNS Media Network is powered by FanDuel. Sign up at FanDuel.com/Boston and get in on the action with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose.